Is that orange juice or pipeline cleaning acid that this little boy is drinking? They look the same. Leaving unmarked chemicals in the milk house is dangerous. Chemicals are not the only hazard this child can face. Pumps on chemical barrels can be inviting to a curious child. It is important to keep these hazards away from children. Do not leave children unsupervised in the milk house, and consider placing a lock on the door to keep them out. This highly powerful chlorinated alkaline cleaning detergent is formulated to dissolve fats and proteins in the milk tank. Eyes are made of proteins. I wonder what would happen if we got this in our eyes. Chemicals in the eyes can result in permanent loss of eyesight. How would losing your eyesight affect your future on the farm? When handling chemicals, it is important to wear the right personal protective equipment to keep you safe. Carefully read your material safety data sheets for handling instructions. The simplest of things can be a danger in the workplace. It is important for chemicals to be properly labeled and stored. Acids and chlorine should be stored separately. Prior to handling any chemicals, workers should attend a Workplace Hazardous Materials Information Systems course, also known as WHMIS. In some provinces, this course is known as the Globally Harmonized System, GHS. This course will help you better understand the hazards associated with chemicals and how to properly read labels and instructions. In addition to attending a WHMIS course, all chemicals that are stored on the property should have a Material Safety Data Sheet, also known as an MSDS. The MSDS will provide you with information on how to properly use the product, along with proper handling, storage, and first aid instructions. Should you have an accident, bring your MSDS to the hospital with you, as the information on the sheet will help your attending physician provide you with the best medical treatment. This new untrained employee does not know they are in the process of making a deadly mustard gas that could kill them in a matter of minutes. Could your farm stand the bad outcome of a major injury to yourself or one of your workers? Proper training and introduction to the milk house is imperative to the safety of your workers. Take the time to show your employees around the milk house and point out any hazards that they need to be aware of. WHMIS training will familiarize workers with the proper handling, labeling, and storage of chemicals. Be sure to point out where the first aid and eye wash stations are, along with emergency contact information. Industrial hot water heaters are needed to get the water temperatures hot enough to clean modern milking systems. This can be a dangerous area for hand washing. Consider posting safety signage that reads, "Very hot water," and designate another sink for hand washing. Does this employee know that this pump comes on automatically in the wash cycle? It is important that your employees are aware of the dangers of working around unprotected belts. Guards are available and should be used to protect you from injury. Does this person have an escape route? Is someone nearby to make sure all is going well and could offer their help? Prior to entering a bulk tank, a confined space course may be required. Confined space training is important to help you understand the dangers associated with confined spaces and how to properly enter and exit these areas. In some cases, toxic gas may be present and proper personal protective equipment may be required. If this milk is not cleaned up quickly, the fat in the milk can cause a very slippery surface. This is another way someone could slip and fall, resulting in major injury. Like in most industries, clutter is the foundation many accidents are built on. Cords, cleaning supplies, barrels, and other items can easily cause clutter, which can be dangerous. It is important to store these items on a shelf or have them placed in an area where there will not be a hazard. It is so easy for a fire to start. This short-term, temporary hookup sometimes becomes a permanent setup. Pests can also be an issue for electrical circuits. They can chew wires, which can be hazardous. Ensure you have a pest management plan for your farm and check your electrical wiring every so often to ensure wires are in good condition. There are a lot of places that a fire could start on a farm. Does this exhaust call for a fire guard against wood? If so, make sure you have taken the proper measures to prevent a fire. Dairy barns are designed to move a lot of air. A fire in a barn can spread like a slow-moving explosion, not giving people much time to exit the barn. Have fire extinguishers in the barn and check them annually to make sure they haven't expired. A lot of work goes into running a productive dairy farm. Ensure you are taking the time to create a safe work environment for both you and your employees. Are you keeping up with technology, which will help reduce the manual handling of dangerous products and save you time? Even modern systems have to be monitored and maintained. These hoses need to be checked regularly for leaks and wear. Wearing proper personal protective equipment like gloves and goggles. Check your equipment for wear and any leaking that may be happening. Should you see anything out of the norm, contact your service provider and have a service representative come and check your equipment. It is important to keep in mind that some of these systems work under pressure. If a hose is leaking or your cup isn't securely in place, when the system turns on, there is a chance you could get chemicals splashed in your eyes. Many dairy farmers today see that they are running a production facility with valued employees. They need to ensure they are providing a safe work environment for their workers. Do you have a first aid kit on the farm? Are its contents replenished every so often? Do you have staff trained in first aid and CPR in the case of an emergency? First aid courses need to be taken every 3 years. Have your staff attended a WMIS or GHS training session? Training can be refreshed every year, most importantly when new chemicals are brought into the workplace. Do you have copies of your MSDS sheets in an easily accessible place? Are you properly labeling your chemical containers and storing them in a safe place? Do you have an eye wash station available to your workers? If you have a saline bottle, make sure it is full and show your employees how to use it. Do you have fire extinguishers on the farm? Do your employees know where they are kept and how to use one? Have you checked them lately for expiry? Do you have important contact numbers posted in the case of an emergency? Are you checking your equipment regularly for leaks and wear? Ensure all new workers are given safety orientation prior to beginning their job. Walk them through the milk house and point out any hazards they may need to be aware of. Show them the first aid and eye wash stations and where you keep your MSDS, emergency contact numbers, and personal protective equipment. Communication is key. Ensure safety is a priority on your farm.
Hi, I'm Tara Hustis, Farm Safety Specialist at the Workers' Compensation Board of Prince Edward Island. In addition to providing farm safety education, I investigate farm accidents. Unfortunately, I see the effects that farm accidents have on workers, farmers, and their families. An accident causing serious injuries can have a devastating impact on everyone involved. I would like to tell you about an accident that occurred on Prince Edward Island where a bulk milk truck driver was injured while collecting milk from a dairy farm. The milk truck driver collected the milk from the bulk milk tank. When this was finished, he initiated the wash system. This is common practice for milk truck drivers when they finish collecting milk from the bulk tank. When the system was initiated, the cup containing chlorine detergent popped off the bottom of the wash system, fell on the floor, and splashed the chemical into the driver's eyes, causing chemical burns. The chemical burns resulted in the driver having lost vision in his left eye for approximately 4 months. Had this damage been permanent, it would have been career-ending for this driver. Some of the factors that caused the accident were that the chemicals were caustic, that the milk equipment was not adequately maintained. The farmer noticed that the cup was leaking prior to this accident and did not service the equipment. Also, on another occasion, a milk truck driver came onto the farm, and when he initiated the system, the cup popped off. That truck driver told the farmer about the incident, and the farmer did not call a service provider out to correct that. We also noticed that the threads were worn on the detergent cup dispenser, and that the wear on the threads would have been enough to cause the cup to pop off the milk wash system when the first rinse cycle went through. And material safety data sheets were not available on the farm, so the driver could not provide that information to the doctor when he arrived at the hospital. The farmer did not call emergency providers or 911, and he did not have an emergency farm plan. Because of this, the farmer drove the milk truck driver to the hospital himself. This resulted in the milk truck driver not being able to rinse his eye for the 20-minute drive that it took to get to the hospital. The farmer and the milk truck driver did not have WHMIS or first aid certification. Farm safety is an important thing to consider on your dairy operation. It's important to assess any safety hazards that you have and make any corrections necessary to prevent accidents. We need to consider everyone that comes onto the farm, including family members, relief milkers, seasonal workers, and service providers when considering safety on the farm. We need to work together to keep everyone safe.